Hello and welcome to episode 46 of the Project Bag podcast. On the show for you this week, I have just one finished object for you. I don't have it to hand, but I've got a nice picture to flash up. I have made some progress on several whips. And finally, I share with you all the exciting news about my final update for 2020. Hello, how are you? It's been 3 weeks. I can only apologise for that. But pandemic, which I think is probably going to be the title of this episode. But pandemic, I think it's become it's like a catchphrase. You know, people say, oh, because tired or because stressed, which, well, let's ignore how grammatically awful that is. But because pandemic has become something that I'm hearing a lot of people saying a lot of the time. You'll have to excuse the grinding and chewing noises. It's not my attempt at ASMR. It's just this little man here wants all the cuddles and all the loves at the moment, don't you, pups? And he's sat on my lap chewing his antler. It's the only thing that will settle him. I wonder if I can show you him. Nope. Let's try. There we go. There we are, chewing his antler. That's actually his poorly eye. Regular viewers of the podcast and followers of me on Instagram will know he's had a poorly eye, which last week, was finally fixed, which I'm really thrilled about. He is much, much happier now. He's full of beans, both of his eyes open, and they are just big brown puddles of melt you, which is not doing any good at all for my attempts to discipline and train. But yeah, I'm quite happy to have him sat on my lap having all the schnugs, so I hope you don't mind. Right, so let's get started, shall we? What I am wearing, I'm actually wearing knitwear from my own yarn. I mean, how often does this happen? I'm like the worst brand rep of my own brand ever. But yeah, this is the Vida shawl, which I showed last time, and I'll pop some pictures up as well because standing up and demonstrating is not going to be, you're right there, comfy. It's not going to be particularly easy. This is done in the purple is Warning from my Autumn Winter 2019 collection. And this flecky colour is Aurora Borealis from my signature collection. For people who are new to the podcast and new to me, hi. I am the dyer and designer behind the Midnight Diary. I've been vending for coming up to 3 years now, which is really exciting. Well, the business was the Project Bag originally, and that launched on the 1st of January 2018, so that's coming up to 3 years old, which is really exciting. And I started dyeing yarn in the autumn of that year, so that's been 2 years. I've also been podcasting for 2 years, had this little man for a year, so I've packed in a lot recently. So yes, these yarns, my signature collection is the collection that I've created of yarns that I am most associated with. So some of my original, some of my most popular, and Aurora Borealis is one of those. The rest of my collections are seasonal and will typically be retired. I haven't brought back Warning for Autumn Winter 2020. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with regards to an Autumn Winter collection. I just went with it. It's called my whatever collection, quite frankly, because that's another thing for this year. Whatever 2020, whatever. So this is the Vida shawl by Cecilia Lozada. It was a mystery knit along that was launched in September 2019. I think just after Perth Festival of Yarn, and I started it straight away and finished it October time. I think I flashed it on the last podcast. I did promise that I would show it to you in all its blocked glory, but I can't. 2 reasons. 1, puppy on my lap. 2, haven't blocked it, and as such, also haven't woven in the ends. But that's what you would expect from. Sorry, I'm just gonna puppy farts. They're not cute. In fact, they're the exact opposite of cute. Sorry for that random aside. Are you right there? Are you holding on to it now? Are you holding it? Okay, you can hold it. Mummy can have both hands, yeah? Anyway. Yeah, so that's what I am wearing. I'm not wearing any hand knit socks because they are all in the wash. I don't have very many pairs, but the pairs I have I absolutely love, and I'm working on expanding my collection. More on that to come. I hope you're well. I hope the last few weeks have been good to you. I know we find ourselves in yet another lockdown, which of course is super duper stressful. I mean, we've done it before. I don't know if somehow that's better or worse because we know we can do it, or because, oh, come on, not this again. But, you know, we've all got to pull together and do what needs to be done to protect one another so that we can all meet again and have warm, woolly hugs in the future. So that in mind, hello. He's saying hi. He's saying hi. So that in mind, oh, he's going to sleep now on my lap, which is just lovely. That in mind, I really want to talk about the great festive cast on KAL. We're going to do a bit of admin at the top of the episode. That kicked off on the 1st of October, so it has been going for a month, or nearly 2 months, crumbs. I haven't yet got the threads up on Ravelry. I think there's an album open in the Facebook group for the Project Bag Club, which is the social group associated with this podcast. Basically, anything that you can convince me is festive counts, and you can cast it on for the Great Festive Cast On. It had to have been started no sooner than the 1st of October. That's the only thing. Don't mind double dipping if you want to double dip into the Blame Done It or the Festive Sock Along, all of those things. Feel free, go for it. Knock yourself out. Do what you want. It's fine. 2020. Who cares anymore? There are no rules anymore. This is it. Hello. You got hiccups now. I thought you were going to sleep. You're having a look at the camera. Hello. Hello. Yes, I love you. Sniffing mummy's lipstick. Oh, he doesn't often wear lipstick, does she? So now with puppy. Right, so so Great Festive Cast On. I have not actually cast on much yet. I've got my rainbow socks that you're aware of. I've got which are Christmas present for my dad. Put a picture up here. I've got my Silent Night West Yorkshire Spinners glitter socks, which I'm on the second sock that I showed you last time. But spoiler, haven't done a thing to it. It's been a mad few weeks. I'll talk about that at the end. I have purchased yarn to make Christmas Eve blankets for my 2 god toddlers, who are going to be 4 next year. I can't believe it, but they're 3 and they're really into everything now, and know all the things as they do, and just amaze me every time I get an update about them. I miss them so much, and so as I'm not going to be able to see them this year, which means it has basically been over a year since I've seen them and given them a cuddle, I'm going to wrap them up in woolly goodness. I've actually chosen King Cole Yummy for this project. Again, I'll put a picture up in their new Christmas colourway for this year. I have used this yarn before, and actually this is my friend Laura's fault. She was looking for a nice chunky baby friendly yarn to work something up for a new little one who is arriving in her family, and I recommended King Cole Yummy, which I was given as a gift several years ago by my auntie, and I made a blanket. It was my getting back into knitting project when I was poorly in 2017. I just used to do a couple of rows a day, and it is so squishy, and my godchildren, when they were babies, they loved it. They wrapped themselves up in it. The dog has stolen it. It's now the dog's blanket, and you know what? It washes up in the machine like a dream. You know, I am a huge fan of natural fibres, but if there's a time and a place for things that aren't necessarily quite so natural, and I think if they're going to be long lasting and well loved, then I'm all for it. So King Cole Yummy, it's actually really reasonable per ball. I did Magnus's blanket. I'll see if I can find an old picture of me holding up the one that has become Magnus's blanket. Yeah, I only used 3 balls for that, and it was really quite sizable. So I've actually got 6 or 7 balls to do ones for my god toddlers for their Christmas present. I had great ideas about sewing them flannel pajamas, like proper flannel pajamas for Christmas, because they're so cute. But I don't have the skills, and I don't have the time, and I don't have the fabric. So that kind of ruled that out. yeah, so anyway, I bought this yarn. It's absolutely gorgeous and squishy, and I cannot wait to get started. So those are my great festive cast on creations. Other KAL news, the vanilla along is continuing, I hope. It is now, sorry Alice, if you, I don't know when you wanted to wind it up. The vanilla along is continuing, and that is where we just make completely plain things. Things that just get us through the day. Because pandemic. You're going to all say it along with me now. Because pandemic. It's going to be like one of those kids' storybooks with the catchphrase. So the idea in that is that you are doing something plain. It could be plain stocking stitch, plain garter stitch. I think we're just about allowing rib, like if you do a ribbed sock or something, but not much else. Colour work doesn't really count. Check out Alice's audio podcast, the Dr. Sockstagram podcast, and her Instagram and YouTube for all the rules, because she's making them, I'm just enabling. So that in mind, with vanilla things, I have, as I said, cast on my second West Yorkshire spinner sock. I'm going to see if I can reach down over the sleeping puppy. There's a phrase that says sleeping dogs lie. I agree wholeheartedly. All right, here we go. So yeah, that's as far. Are you getting off? Where are you going? You're going to go and flop over there? Yes. Oh, you're going to sleep on your chair? Okay, he's gone to sleep in his chair. So now I'm all yours and I can reach my coffee. Bonus! Yeah, so this is the Silent Night Sparkle Sock, which doesn't really want to focus. Da, da, da. There we go, just about. It's really nice. West Yorkshire spinners are known for their self-striping. I love this because it's not. I love their self-striping yarn, but I think this just would look too contrived as stripes for Silent Night. I love the way it kind of moves and shifts. It really does remind me of a crisp winter's night, you know, when the moon lights up and the stars are out and you've got those kind of eerie blue-grey clouds, very thin and wispy, just, you know, there's a particular look. And I think this is it. And this, of course, speaks to my Midnight Diary heart, because all the blues. These were actually going to be a Christmas present, but they're for me. They're going to be my festive socks this year. So they would count, if I could count, for the... well, they do count for the festive sock along if I get this finished. And I think I've got a week left to do it. So that's Amy's make along. They do count for the vanilla along, and they also count for the Great Festive Cast On. Win! So yeah, I've got those going on. Also in vanilla, I have the second sock of the Rum Paradise to cast on. I haven't actually cast that on yet. And I've got Hollyberry as well. Both of these will count for the festive sock along, or would if I had a chance of getting another 3 socks done in the next few days. And you never know, I could have a mad sock challenge, but I wouldn't tell anyone about it, because I am a great one for nailing my colours to the mast, saying this is what I'm going to do, and then smiling as my deadlines just toddle on past. I'm a great one for arbitrary goals, self-imposed deadlines, but I have all the self-discipline of a flip-flop, all the commitment of a flip-flop, and I never get anything done. So, but that's me. If you're new to the podcast, you're not going to get regular foes and hoes with me. What you will get is a fair bit of nonsense and me making grand statements and then never following through. So there we go. If that's not exciting, I don't know what is. So Hollyberry, we've also got Fairy Lights, which I talked about last time. But these are all living in what I'm now calling my sock bucket, which is a beautiful drawstring bag by Verone's Bags. I talked about this last time. I will link her shop down below in the doobly-doo. I will also link to the Yarn Dispensary shop, because we have some of her yarn bowls in stock, which are very limited edition and very exciting. Her potting shed, that's the wrong thing, isn't it? That's plants. But the thing where she has her table where she does the throwing of the pots is in the cold outside, so she's not actually going to be throwing during the winter months. So if you want one, then you kind of got to come visit us. which is cool. But anyway, they are all living in my sock pouch, which is amazing. It's got this really soft velveteen sort of ribbon, and yeah, so this is quite happily fitting several pairs of socks in here at once, which I'm loving. I've got a matching Notions pouch, and yeah, I think you could probably fit a sweater in that actually. I'm learning a lot about project bag sizes, but there we go. So what have we touched on? We've touched on the vanilla along, we've touched on the great festive cast on, we've touched on the, I feel like there was another one. The woof along, except for it's not the woof along, it's the Cozy Creature Comforts cowl. That is continuing and will continue until next year because I haven't done a lot to it, and obviously now we're all busy with Christmas. But I'm really excited because I've got a great plan with Eva, my friend, who is director of Perth Festival of Yarn. Eva is an incredible enabler. She spends most of our time when we're having knit and natters on Zoom opening the doors to various rabbit holes and watching as we all hop in like lemmings and sort of sweat. She's got this cat, and she must have this kind of evil laugh, I can imagine, going, stroking Schmeagol, her beautiful cat, going, yes, yes, what rabbit hole should we lead them down this time? Anyway, I just jump in with gay abandon, that's absolutely fine. My friend Helen jumps in as well and often sits, you know, waits for us down the bottom, having set up camp, lit a fire and singing Gingangooly. So she's got me back into cross stitch, and she was looking for cable hat patterns, and I'm not going to say too much about it now, but we've come up with a concept for basically a series of knit-alongs that will take place in 2021. So watch this space. Each one will be about 2 months long. We're going to do 6 of them, we think. We shall see. But yeah, so watch that space. Right, shall I get on to finished objects? I have one finished object to share with you today. I love it. There's this yarn, it's from Bahramu and it's called Dovestone Natural. Now Dovestone has actually been discontinued on account of the fact it's got Wensleydale in it, and Wensleydale is a rare breed, it's hard to get hold of. But we have some balls of gorgeousness at the shop that I run. So my day job, I actually manage a local yarn shop. So I have my own company, which is the Midnight Diary, formerly the Project Bag, and I run the Yarn Dispensary in Faversham, which is gorgeous and I love it. Yeah, so I decided to whip up a quick pattern. This pattern is at the moment exclusive to the Yarn Dispensary, so you can only get it through them. I have no plans to take the rights back to it anytime soon, so if you want it, then the Yarn Dispensary is the way to go. And in the kit comes the pattern and the gorgeous ball of yarn with the option to add needles if you want or like. So I'll put a picture up here. This is the hat. It takes just one ball of Dovestone Natural Chunky, which has the most delicious sheepy smell. When you open a fresh bag of it, it's just like, it's like new book smell, but for woolly people. It's the same thing. If you, okay, Archie has got his paw in the tea cozy. I'll put a picture up later and show you. So yeah, I whipped this up in no time at all. I wanted it to be slouchy rather than fitted. It's got a deep brim that is designed to just be worn flat, not folded. Stocking stitch, so it's in the round, so it's knit, 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 round, around, around, around. Decreases to make this really cute spiral on the top of the crown. And my lovely colleague Roz here is modelling it in the picture. I cast it on at about 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. So I cast it on at about 4 o'clock on the Saturday, and I finished it that evening. It took me about 4 hours to do, or 4 or 5 hours. I remember the time specifically because I was waiting for Boris to come and do his announcement and talk to us about this new lockdown. So I'm just going to reach for my coffee, which is getting cold. This is another thing, right? Mugs. Mugs are really, really great for showing people you care. This one was a Christmas gift a couple of years ago from a lovely friend, Myra, who is the namesake of my colourway, Myra, which she actually helped design. I can't claim credit for that. And you know, it's something nice and comforting about holding on to a big mug of warm goodness, isn't there? And just, you know, And this is definitely hug in a mug weather. So maybe I should get some more mugs in my shop. Let's see. I've got some project bag ones that I need to pop on sale. Old project bag merchandise. Because anyway, I'm digressing. Hug in a mug. Have you got a favourite mug? I would love to hear. Tell you what, tell me your favourite mugs below. There's no prizes or anything. This is just for the joy of joining in and having a conversation. Question of the week, your favourite mug. And why is it your favourite mug? That said, that decided, yeah, that's my finished object. It was really good. We've got the kits in cream, and as I said, I've designed it for the yarn dispensary, so I don't have the rights, and it will not be available on my Ravelry store, so you need to go there and have a look. I'm also planning on designing some mitts as well, which would be super cute, and I've just kicked the tripod. I don't even have a co-host to blame. It's me kicking my own tripod. Right, on to works in progress. Now, there has been some progress. Now, the first one, I can't show you. I actually have a half object. I can't show you because it is a top secret test knit. Now is the time of year where we've got all sorts of wonderful collaborations going on. I've got my own collaboration going on with Anna Freeberg and Anna Nikiforovich, who are both designing something with unique yarn that I have dyed exclusively for my Christmas Eve box this year. So that's really exciting. And I am test knitting for a very good friend and talented designer of mine, Kirsty, and I always pronounce this incorrectly, so I am so sorry, Kirsty. Crochet Creations, I think. It's probably not. But she's very talented. She's a very talented designer, and I'm test knitting a pair of socks, which is just, I've so enjoyed them, and I can't even show you the ball of yarn that I'm using because that's my yarn, which is fine, and there is a skein still in the shop on sale, but I left Magnus alone and he was not happy about this. This is a cowl that I'm designing. We use the term very loosely. Hang on. Let me just slip the stitches onto this other needle so I can show you what I'm talking about. Just, talk amongst yourselves. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Yeah, so this is the cowl, and it's very squishy. It's simple 1x1 rib. It's another thing that I'm asked for a lot. Again, this is a yarn dispensary exclusive, and I don't know, haven't decided when or if the rights will come back to me, but it's ever so simple. All right, so this is my cowl, simple cowl, with a 3 needle bind off. It will be, so it's going to be nice, squishy, and it's in Debbie Bliss Laza, which is a yak and cashmere blend. And what else can I tell you about it? I've got that much left, so I'm nearly there. All right, on to whip number 2. This is the start of the Eliza Tea by Truly Hooked by Verity. I'm doing it for my friend, and I ripped it back because it didn't quite fit properly. And I went down a hook size because I'm really loose crocheter. What I didn't realise is that Verity is also fairly loose, and I should have stayed on the same hook. However, we liked the fabric that I'd got, the lady I'm doing this for, my friend Helen. She liked the fabric that I'd got on the smaller hook size. So I ripped it back, added in a couple of extra repeats, worked out how many repeats I needed to add in to make it fit better. And then because of social distancing, when I got to the end of a pattern repeat section, I cut it off, and she basically tried it on like a collar, and it fit her really nicely. So that is that. I'm using Riverbed from Truly Hooked, and it is the pattern from On the Hook. What is with me leaving like in the middle of rows? The next object that has had some love is My Weekender by Andrea Mowry. I shared this last time, and I did actually, true to my word, work on the front, and I have finished the front now. So these are the shoulders, held on far too small stitch holders, but I have kitchenered the neck together, and it's got this nice stretchy bind off. So that is what that is going to look like, and I cannot wait to wear it. I'm really excited about this. So yeah, I'm using Marrister colourway of the Croft Shetland Tweed Aran from West Yorkshire Spinners. If you haven't guessed already, I'm a massive West Yorkshire Spinners fan. I love the fact that they're predominantly natural fibres and also budget friendly, which is so useful when you want to knit all the things. Yeah, so I'm doing the size that ends up at a 52-inch bust. I'm not entirely sure what size that is. I think it might be the 4th or 5th size. So it is going to be huge and cozy and comfy, and I'm absolutely determined to get this off the needles before I go back to work next week. I'm furloughed part-time again because pandemic. And I am also taking some leave because it's been a bit flat out since I returned in July. Next and final whip to share with you is my Stephen West mystery. I'm not going to put a spoiler alert here because the mystery has ended, the cowl has ended, but I have got onto clue 2. So this is bonus clue for part week 1. So I guess you could call that clue 2, and some people are calling this clue 3. So this is my Slipstravaganza. Hold it up so you can see. There we are. It looks incredibly complicated, but you know what? It isn't. It's so lovely to do and lovely to work on, and quite potato chippy. This is all done using slip stitches. So you can see I've got my third contrast colour in with my main colour there. Focus, please. Woohoo! And I've striped here. I've striped Exotic and Song of the Sea. And my main colour is Mowry. You can just about see those flecks of pink and purple coming through. And this is Fuchsia. Obviously I've got a few more on the needles than I did have. I'm not sure what that takes me up to. Let me just grab my slipboard. Whipboard. Slips on the brain. Loving Stephen West, by the way. That is my first Stephen West pattern I've ever done, and it's just so interesting. It's definitely a process rather than a product to knit. Let's see, Silent Night West Yorkshire Spinners is a hoe, Run Paradise is a hoe, Grenade Creations Test Socks is a hoe, Bramble Playground, Fading Point, Raspberry Croissant, Carwin's Jumper, Grainshaw, Weekender's Made Progress, Mark Blanket, I picked that up as well, but I've literally done 2 rows, so I'll show you that next week. Yeah. Advent Granny Stripe, what's that? Oh yeah, that's my Granny Stripe blanket. That's had no love. Yeah. So that's it, really. That's it for the creative content. When we come back, I'm going to refill my cup and I'm going to show you some exciting news that's happened. So I hope you will come back for that. Okay, so welcome back if you have returned. I'm just going to do some general blather stuff now and fill you in on what's been going on. Yeah, it's a really exciting time here at the Midnight Diary. I mean, I know things are super challenging, and running 2 businesses, both affected by lockdown, is not easy, but I'm choosing to try and embrace the challenge and the opportunity to be creative. So that said, there's lots of exciting things going on, and the first thing I want to show you is this is Knit Now magazine. It is issue 122. It just dropped onto my doormat yesterday. I've only just stopped doing cartwheels and stopped long enough to actually talk to you. But people who get this magazine regularly will know that I have been part of something called Indie Focus for the whole of 2020, where there's a collection of indie dyers. We have adverts each month, and a couple of months ago my I Like That One Too was used to design a gorgeous scarf, and yeah, I'm in the Christmas edition, which is so exciting. Can I just say, these topsy-turvy tools, that's amazing. That's being made just for the fun of it. But yeah, if you turn to page 46 in your copy, which is available to purchase online, yours truly. I cannot tell you how exciting this is. It's just insane. I couldn't believe it. I mean, obviously I knew we were having an interview because obviously I answered the questions. This is not a surprise. But seeing it in print like that on a double page spread, no less, just makes me feel like this is real. This is real. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who has followed the podcast, who kept me going on those times where I'm feeling a bit blah, you know, and who've embraced me and embraced my story, and just thank you. I'm thrilled to say that, of course, Grubby Goldfish had to feature, but also if you look here, this shawl is the Stillness Shawl by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade in my yarns that my lovely friend Helen knit, and she brought it into the yarn dispensary. You gonna come sit up here, Bubs? Max, come on. She brought it into the yarn dispensary to show me. I took a picture and I sent it off for consideration for this. And of course, the Lara's Legacy socks are in there, mentioned as well. We have raised just under £1,000 at the last count by the sales of these patterns. So thank you to the people at Knit Now for including me. This is just so exciting. And you know what? I love this magazine, but I've really thoroughly enjoyed getting it all this year, and I would highly recommend it. This, I just think, looks like a cozy bunch of wonderfulness. This is super chunky, and there's free gifts with it as well this time. So there's your own sort of chart maker for putting patterns onto plain jumpers, which is really clever and a great supplement, full of ideas for Christmas knits and winter knits. Yeah, I mean, I'm already looking forward to next month. Look at that on next month. Sizes 6 to 36. It's nice and inclusive. It looks like it's either an Aran or a Chunky, but it's just gorgeous. And that is going to end up in my life. Mark my words, 2021, that is ending up in my life. Yeah, just absolutely loving it. And also, look at this. They've even included little bits from like the new Rowan designs. This is from the My London. I'm pretty sure it's from the My London. Moorgate Wrap, yep, by Georgia Farrell. It's a travelling cable and alpaca yarn for a chic accessory. So yeah, it's in the My London collection from Rowan, which is new for 2020, autumn, winter, and yes, please. So that's one thing that's happened, and it's super exciting. The other thing that's happened is you'll notice that I'm in there as the Midnight Diary. My rebrand is continuing and it's going really, really well. I've had my new logo done, which I showed on the last podcast. It feels really grown up and a bit serious and a bit like I'm really doing this, which is absolutely fab. The other thing is I've got some new bases. Magnus, shh, shush. You've got dinner. You've just eaten your dinner. Shush. Good boy. Good boy. Where's your antler? Here we go. Puppy, what's this? What's this? Come on. What's this? Come here. What's that? Yeah, come on then. Come and sit with mummy. Come and sit with mummy. Right, sit down then. Sit down then. No, you're not having the squeaky ball. Sit down. Sit so I can talk to everyone. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Right, so this is going to be fun, this next bit, because this next bit's where I talk to you about the things that are going in my shop update. So, I can't read. I've got 2 skeins of my super duper chunky going in, which make the cowls that I showed off last time. Okay, this is Forest Floor. Reach, this is ridiculous. Right, hold on puppy, hold on. Massive bag for life is now on the sofa looking very glamorous, but it's all I can do to show you. Right, I have also got my, I've got one more. This is the second one going in, super duper chunky. I also have my chunky base, in addition to, I can't remember what I called them, Spice Plum and something else. We have this one, which is Turning Point or is this Autumn Leaves? It's the only one like this, so if you look for the greeny one, then that's the one, which I've done on chunky. It was really, really popular in 4-ply. This is it in chunky, and it's just so squishy. It's 100% super wash merino. The super duper chunky is 100% merino. This is Southend Sunset, and it is inspired by the colours in an autumn sunset in my hometown of Southend-on-Sea. I'm actually from Shoebury Ness. in Essex, and the colours, you get the kind of creamy clouds and the deep blues. It's got sweaters quantity of that on my Superwash Merino DK. Neptune on Superwash Merino DK. Song of the Sea on DK, which is coming up really teal here, but I will obviously have pictures. Poisoned Apple on DK. This is one of the original batch. There are 2 dye lots going into the shop. So I think I might actually name this one Bordeaux instead. So Bordeaux and Poisoned Apple. Afternoons on my Superwash Merino DK. I have Berry Kiss. Berry Kiss, that's what I called it. I have Berry Kiss and a Spiced Plum on my chunky merino as well. So that's it for shop update. No, it's not, I'm lying to you. You may remember a while ago I shared that I was no longer going to be making bags for the Midnight Diary. However, I have an incredibly, are you comfortable? You have very sharp elbows. I have an incredibly talented friend who has asked to remain nameless, but fine, if that's what you want, my darling, that's what you shall have. She's a fantastic sewist, like properly qualified in everything, which is, hold on, all right, you dropped it, I'll pick it up, there we go, which is one up from me. And we are working together to collaborate to create limited edition bags for the Midnight Diary. So just to sort of see how it goes, these are our first ones. So the aesthetic is very much me. So this is a drawstring bag, lined, very lightly padded, so your needles won't poke through. We've got this waterproof, well, it's waterproof on the inside, woven fabric on the bottom. And of course, my brand new The Midnight Diary badges. It is absolutely, what have you done with it now? You dropped it again. Where's it gone? It's there. It is absolutely beautifully finished with really good attention to detail. There is a drawstring to go in it, I just haven't threaded it through yet. And the next one is a jumbo sweater sized bag. Now, I mean, you could fit a blanket in this one, to be honest. It does fold down, but it also stands up on its own quite happily. Again, padded with the branding, but also, can you hold it yourself just for a minute, darling? Thank you. We also have here a zip pocket in the front. So this is like a major, don't show everyone your bum and don't play with that ball. So this is, don't work with animals, that's what I say. Shush! So a zipped pocket, and you can see that the same canvassing material has been used here and the finishing touches there. It is absolutely huge. Zip fastening, beautifully top stitched. Oh, and if you can see it to the bottom of that, it goes back quite a way. Put your bum down, no one wants to see your bum. So that is that. Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining me again. Bum down. Come here. Right, calm down. Hello. Hello. You're being gorgeous. You're stealing the show. Say hello. Hi. Magnus says hi. Magnus says, buy my mummy's yarn, please. Buy my mummy's yarn and then I can have more doggy treats. Yes, and pay for more vet's bills because I cost mummy a fortune. Don't you? In other news, I've started another podcast. It is the Yarn Dispensary podcast. It isn't up on YouTube yet, but Linda and Roz, 2 of my fantastic colleagues, and I, we just wanted some fun. We wanted to have some fun, do something a bit different. And so we are starting, goodness help us, the Yarn Dispensary podcast. It's a bit different to this one in that I try and be professional. But we do still have a giggle. There's a bit at one point where Linda and Roz are both sort of flashing their. And don't forget, there is an opportunity to win a copy of Tabitha's Switch and Knit Stitch Dictionary. For full details on that, you need to go back and watch the interview that I did with Tabitha. Yeah, you need to go and watch the interview I did with Tabitha and follow the prompts. I'm going to be closing that shortly. The reason I haven't closed it yet is because the book isn't actually available in the UK still, because pandemic. There's been lots of delays with getting it out because obviously she's based in America and yeah. So I don't know what I'm going to do with myself with my time off. I had to take some time off. I'm furloughed part-time again from the day job because pandemic. And yeah, the other thing is I was due some leave and I've worked pretty much flat out. It all went but that's why I haven't done a podcast in ages. It's because everything just went a bit mad. We knew this might be coming, but on the Friday morning before Boris did his address to the nation on the Saturday, on Friday morning, there were members of the cabinet on the radio saying we are not going into a lockdown. Saturday, we're going into a lockdown. Cue mad panic. Well, not mad panics, we were kind of prepared, but the amount of work that I had to cram in before we had to shut our doors at the yarn dispensary. And yeah, I love a challenge, me. You know me, I love a challenge. Yeah, basically, I'm going to have a makecation. I'm going to spend the next, what are we now, Tuesday? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 6 days left of my little makecation of my holiday. I'm going to spend the next 6 days sat on my bum crafting all the things, apart from when I'm walking the dog. That I will not do sat on my bum because that would just look very, very strange. So I'm conscious I'm starting to babble now. I'm gonna head off and edit this and get all the stock on the system ready for my shop update, which is tonight. I should probably have said that. It's tonight at 9 o'clock GMT. So that's the plan. 9 o'clock GMT. Yeah, clocks went back. Yeah, we're back to Greenwich Mean Time. That will be on there. And yeah, I'm gonna go and try and finish some stuff and see you next time. All right, love you all. Take care. Bye.